All right, video number 2, we are going to be going deeper into what working in tech sales actually looks like. And before you skip past this video, sales gets a bad reputation for being sleazy, for being used car kind of thing, for being pushy. In most cases, that is only because those people are really bad at their jobs. When in reality, there are tons of salespeople who are kind, who are warm, who are trying to solve problems for people who need solutions. And so as we go through this video, keep an open mind. You might be surprised about how much tech sales could actually be for you. In tech companies, there's 3 main roles. The entry-level one being a business development rep or a sales development rep. Up from there, we have account executives as well as account managers. And so people usually get into tech sales for 2 reasons. One, they are people. They love relationship building, they love working with people, they love problem solving. And second to that, it is really because of the income potential. There are very few roles in which the better you do at them, the more money you make is directly correlated very quickly. And tech sales is one of those. It also doesn't require any technical skills, any technical training. Literally all you need to do is be good with people and have some grit, and you are good to go for tech sales. I want to take a second to explain how compensation works in tech sales, because I'm going to talk about it as we talk about each role. Generally, you have a base salary plus commission, and then sometimes there's a bonus with that as well. And so let's say your base salary is $50,000, which is pretty common for an entry-level SDR role. You would get commission on top of that, which depending on how you do, depending on how the company structures it, could be anywhere from take you to 65, let's say, to 90. And then sometimes there's a bonus on top of that, which could be 10% of your salary. And so that would be another $10,000, aka you could make $75,000 to $100,000 in your first year as a BDR. Now, that is where most people start, and we're going to come back to that in a second, but most people get into tech sales with the goal of becoming an account executive. And so if the BDR is the person who throws the ball, the account executive is the one who actually hits the ball out of the park. Your role, in the plainest, simplest terms, is to get new clients. Nothing else, just to get new clients. And you really need to become an expert on your company, on the product, on even what else is available to them in the market that solves a similar problem. And your job is to strategically get people excited about what it can do for them and show them that you are going to be the best person to solve this problem and turn them into a client. The day-to-day in this role is really going to meetings, talking to potential customers, maybe that's on Zoom, maybe that's in person, educating them on your software, and again, just showing them, understanding their problem and then showing them how you can be the solution to that. Once you have them excited about the product and they think, you know what, maybe you could be the right person to solve this problem for us, you're also going to be the person who negotiates the contract, whether that be pricing, are they paying monthly, how much are they paying annually, figuring out exactly what's going to work best for your team as well as their team and make it that win-win situation. An example of this is, let's say you own a landscaping company. The business development rep is going to book you the meeting with a local winery because they need a new grass cutting provider. Your job would be to go to the winery, meet with the operations manager, and do a walkthrough of the property. While you're walking through, you're talking to that manager, they're telling you about, we've had a really hard time finding people who are reliable, who are always here, who are willing to come day after it rains, whatever it is that their problems are. And you are going to make sure that the solution that you propose to them is going to meet everything that they need. In most cases, it's not just a one and done meeting, because the operations manager might not have the sign off to, he might not have the ability to say, yes, I can spend this money with you. So the next week you go back, you meet with the owner of the winery, you get to know them, their goals, you build a relationship with them as much as possible. And then once they're bought into you as well, then you're going to work with them to negotiate and put together a price and a package that, again, is that win-win situation for everybody. That is what is called a sales process or a sales cycle. Depending on what company you work for, that sales cycle can be very short, just 1 or 2 quick meetings. Or it can be very long where you're meeting 5, 10, 15 different people and you need to get their opinions, you need to understand their problems, you kind of need to like match make with all of these different people to get to a point where everybody's on board and ready to go. Depending on the company you work for, that process can take anywhere from 1 week and 1 meeting to like a year. Despite all the misconceptions people have about sales, honestly, if I was gonna do it again, this is probably what I would wanna do. Once you have a couple of years of experience as an account executive, like there are people I know who are making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year. I've talked to candidates who are making $300,000 or $400,000 a year. And so the money will grow as you grow in your career as well. If the account executive is the closer, the person who brings on new business, the account manager is the person who takes over once they sign on the dotted line. So the account managers generally only work with existing clients. Account management is all about making sure that the customer is happy, that there is a long-term relationship. And the one thing that differentiates account management from a customer success manager is there is a sales component involved as well. Instead of selling to net new customers, you are going to be upselling or doing renewals. And so let's say you have a client, they've been working with you for 2 years, their contract was originally signed for 2 years, you will be the person who makes sure that they are signing on again to work with you for another year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is. The second part to account management is upselling. So going back to our grass cutting example, our landscaping example, they're currently working with us as a grass cutting service, but you know that they have a garden and you offer gardening services as well. And so after maybe a couple weeks, couple months of working together, building that relationship, and them seeing, wow, they're doing such a good job, you might go back to them and say, hey, like I noticed you guys do have a garden and we do that as a service as well. Since we've been super happy working together, like is that something you would be interested in having us do for you to take that off your hands? Adding additional services that you can provide to that existing base of clients. What I just described is a traditional account manager role, but account management is really like a catch-all title in sales. Sometimes account executives are called account managers. When I was a recruiter, I was called an account manager. Sometimes customer success managers are called account managers. Sometimes even like entry-level people are called account managers. And so if you are applying to account management jobs, really make sure that you are reading what the description is because it will be so different for every company. Account management and account executives generally aren't considered entry-level positions. If you don't have any professional sales experience or tech experience, you're probably going to start in a business development rep role. And so lastly, BDR, SDR, business development rep, this is like the true entry-level position where people cut their teeth in sales. People get into this role with the goal of getting into an account executive role or an account management role, which is usually possible within like 6 months on the low end. I would say 18 months on the absolute high end. And this job is also probably the number one barrier that stops people from getting into tech sales. Why do I say that? Because your job is going to be making somewhere between like 40 to 100 calls a day. I'm not going to over glamorize that. It is not for everybody, but I think it's for more people than we realize. Going back to our winery example, you didn't just call one winery, you called all the wineries in the area to see if there's a chance of them wanting to change their landscaping provider or being interested in meeting with you for the first time. The great thing about being an SDR is it is relatively clock in, clock out. And so you're not going to be spending like your weekends, your evenings doing this position, and you're still going to be making $60,000 to $100,000 in the first year with literally no experience. What I'll say about tech sales as a whole is you will literally never need to worry about unemployment ever again. I think there is a need, like if there's 500 tech sales professionals, there's way more, but for sake of example, if there's 500, we need 1,000. Like if there's 500,000, we need 1 million. There is such a shortage of these people, especially people who are good at their job. And there will always be recruiters reaching out to you to offer you more money, more opportunity, more growth, whatever it is you feel like you want or you need out of your career in tech sales, you will be able to achieve that. Thank you so much for watching this video. In video 3, we are talking about customer success And if you are curious about getting into tech sales, what that could look like for you, maybe like working on your resume, interviews, all that kind of stuff, how you can transition from where you are now into this area, feel free to book a call with me at the link that's above, I believe. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you soon and seeing you in the next video.